I'm Vincent Perlerin, and I'm working for the AMS, American Meteor Society, and the IMO. And today we would like to offer you something that is completely related to the previous talk, which are two new APIs related to the Fireball report program. If you guys are unfamiliar with this project, it's an online form that allows Fireball eyewitnesses to share their sightings with us. And there's one thing I hate in life is that when there's an asterisk without notes, so let me clarify that. There's only one of these two APIs that have been implemented so far. So I will talk about them both, but only one is working for now, and both are related. But let me first give you some insights about the Fireball program stats. We currently have a bit more than 240,000 reports and 64,000 events in our database. These numbers are from last Thursday. And as you can see on the graph, we have a constant increase of number of events and so number of reports we received since the beginning of the project. 2020 was a pretty good year with a record of 35 events, Fireball events with more than 100 reports each. And the number in 2021 don't look that great. We will have certainly less events, and I don't know why. The only thing I can say is that I didn't have that much time this year to write posts and to encourage people to share their sightings with us. We have now 30 organizations worldwide involved in this project. And what is interesting to notice is that the amount of reports coming from the AMS was almost 80% of the reports in 2015. And 5 years later, it only represents a bit more than 50%. What it means, since we saw that we have always an increase of the number of reports that we receive, it means that the organizations are doing a great job and that the project brings interest for more people from around the world. And when I say all around the world, we now have reports from 206 countries, which is more than the number of members of the UN, because we have reports from Palestine or Taiwan, for instance. We also have plenty of media in our database, which is a great source, not only for the media themselves, but for sometimes finding stuff on the ground, as you guys know. Last but not least, and it's my last slide about the numbers, we have plenty of visitors. We have plenty of people who are keen to learn about this phenomena. And these numbers, I don't show you these numbers to tell you how good we are, but to tell you that the Fireball program is working, is alive, it's used by hundreds of people every day. And some of them are listening to me right now. So, we just saw in the previous talk, which was great, that we need to solve some problems of communication between the networks. And sometimes when we have a detection, we receive reports from the witnesses. We know that some networks have some detections, but we don't know exactly who has the detection or not. It has been talked about before. And how do the results of one network compare to the other? And who's aware about this event? Who has a detection? And if there's something on the ground, can I work with other networks to find the rocks, etc.? So these problems have been mentioned before, but here we offer an alternative, maybe more for the general public, but also for the community. First of all, let me clarify, an API is an online service, a service that you can use anywhere from your computer as long as you have an internet connection and the proper authorization. So we implemented a new service related to the Firebird program that is, as usual, free and available to anybody who wants to be involved. And this service allows you to share your detection from your camera networks and to put them on our maps. Some people talked about the competition that we have right now between some camera networks. And it's a very stimulating situation for everyone. I even heard some guys comparing the size of their networks this afternoon. But we hope this service will be a first step to increase the cooperation between these networks. And we know how these collaborations are important. We just heard about it. So this API will allow you to share your results with the community of the other camera networks, but also the general public. And also to compare your results, basically your trajectory, your ground trajectory at the first level. And we hope it also, it will allow you to tell the world you exist and you're doing a good job dealing with this kind of events, because a lot of people in the media can read about this event, but don't know that there's a real scientific community behind. And we would like you to be able to do that in less than 2 minutes, meaning that we don't want you, of course, to be obliged to work hours on such a things. I'm sorry, very important, share your results. Of course, the results you are willing to share. And again, we just talked about it. Of course, the people who are working in the scientific fields are not willing to share their results if they are not published or if there's the public involved, like in the Winchcombe meteorite. So basically, maybe you are familiar with this kind of page where we display all the witnesses' results on maps and their photos and videos that they shared with us. And in this example, you can see that we have computed a trajectory based only on the eyewitnesses' reports. It appears in blue on the map. But something new that we now have for some of the detection are these boxes below the map. And these boxes correspond to detection from here only 2 networks that are involved in the project right now, which are Fripon and Boham, which is a small camera network in France. So with these 2 boxes, from these 2 boxes, we can see all the cameras, the Fripon cameras that were involved in the detection, and also, of course, the trajectory, the ground trajectory computed by Fripon. And we can compare the trajectory obtained from the eyewitnesses with the trajectory obtained from the Fripon network. And since we have another network involved here, we can see the cameras from this Boham network and their trajectory that appears in purple in our map. So I don't want to go into the details how to compare the trajectory and everything, but here it's very interesting to see that the trajectory obtained from the witnesses is not that far from the one from Fripon, and the one from Boham is a bit off. When I say close, we are there's 25 kilometers between these 2 points. So as the crow flies. On these little boxes, we can see the information Fripon and Boham were willing to share with us. The date of the detection, which is exactly the same one. We are not talking about seconds here, but the second one, the same one that the eyewitness gave us. And Fripon was able to give us the velocity that they computed for this event, and Boham was willing to share the magnitude. And which also important is this link to the Fripon website and to the Boham website, because we want again, to increase the visibility of these people and these networks for the general public. So these links will go to the Fripon website, where the people will have all the information that Fripon is sharing about this detection. It's the same for BOAM. And it's not just a link, because when I was talking to you about the number of visitors in our website, this link is very important for the search engine optimization of your own website, meaning how popular you can be on the web, which means how many people can be aware of your work and either be involved at some point or be just interested with it. So this is a very basic process. I won't go into the details because it's already 12 minutes. It's just basic JSONs that you can send us. This is the information about a station, for instance. And this is the trajectory, the ground trajectory that we have. So Fripon and BOAM send us their files like that. Fripon on a daily basis, and BOAM it's more every 6 months, but it's a very small and amateurish network. Yeah, just to show you how easy it is once the JSONs are built to send us those files and to appear on our public map. This is the line in Python to send us this kind of information. Another example, quick one, always orange, the Fripon network, and blue, the trajectory obtained from our witnesses. If we can zoom a bit, here it was an event in east of France. And here the difference between the two trajectories is a bit more than 6 kilometers. So it's not bad. And it shows that the trajectory obtained from the witnesses, in some cases, it's not always the case, but in some cases are very close to what we can obtain from the camera network, even though we don't have the same purposes. Another one that I want to talk about, another event. Here you see we have only 9 witnesses. So for us, it always means that the trajectory that we will obtain from them won't be that good. But if you look at the difference between the Fripon trajectory and the witness trajectory, it's super close. And when I say super close, the distance between these 2 points is less than 1 kilometer. But here there's a trick, because if you can see carefully, you see that the people who share their observation have cameras of their own. So it means that these people belongs to some networks, and I know that Luc Bastien, for instance, belongs to a nice All-Sky 7 camera, and he enters manually his observation, so he appears as a witness, but in fact he's sharing the data from his camera, which brings me to the second API that we'd like to offer, meaning just share the detection of your cam, exactly that we share the result of the network. Share the data from your cam in just 1 or 2 minutes. The idea is to have a button in the application or the website you're using to deal with this kind of thing, and you click this button, and this detection goes to us, and we will take care of it. And of course, always the same, only the data you are willing to share. And it's the same principle. You will have a JSON to build with some information about the operator, because your name will appear on the map, about your camera, which is exactly the same kind of data we heard about in the previous presentation. And of course, the observation itself with, again, the possibility to add a link back to your own website for the same reason that I talked about earlier. So, conclusion, we offer 2 new free services to the community, one at the network level and one at the camera level. And if you want to be involved in this project, just go to the contact page on the IMO website. You select my name and I will answer you as soon as possible. Thank you.